teacher, Miss Jacki Percy, which is interesting because my name being Jacki, I didn't know she was called Jacki because, not immediately, because at school in the 50s you didn't. And I went to what was called a central school. They don't exist any longer. I was what's called grammar marginal. When I was a child, there was grammar schools, central schools and secondary modern. So you went to whichever was the one relevant to the outcome of you taking the 11 plus.
Right.
I didn't pass the 11 plus. I scraped through and I thought, oh, I didn't want to struggle. You could, in actual fact, try for the grammar school again when you were 13.
Okay.
I thought no. So I went to this very old school in Catford, and then all of a sudden we were said we were going to go to Catford Girls, which was a new comprehensive, so I went from the Victorian school to an absolutely modern school, which was incredible. So we had a wonderful art studio, which was bigger than this room, and glass all down one side, which meant it let the light in, so it was fantastic. I remember doing my work, and then Jacki Percy came up and said, "Do you want to go to art school for 2 days a week?"
Okay.
I said, "Oh yes," but I didn't know what art school was all about.
How old were you at this point?
14, I think, 14, 15.
Yeah.
It was what was called like a day release.
Right.
So we went up, and I went up to Camberwell with my parents.
Yeah.
And my portfolio was actually my book with an illustration from a geography lesson. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't exactly fantastic. But they said, "Oh no," the people that interviewed me thought I'd be fine.
Right.
So went along, and then I met other people who are still my friends. We all went there together. A young man from the East End, the first Jewish person I met. My friend Anne, who's I'm her godmother's to her daughter. We were all just there, we couldn't believe it. And Anne had been at Silverthorne, where Molly Parkin had been the art teacher. And we suddenly saw these people dressed in unbelievable outfits. Mostly the men had suits with watch chains, which was not unusual because it was like my grandfather. But it was unusual because they didn't have any footwear. They decided that shoes were not part of the outfit. So and all the young women had hair piled up and long earrings, which I have worn a variety of long earrings ever since. We had marvellous tutors. We had no idea how good they were. And we met people that really came from all over the world, because a lot of people were of German origin that had fled from the Second War. And as I say, so they brought in a completely different culture and spoke in a different way. But they were, a lot of them, our head of, what was it called, intermediate we took, was from, I think Eton, was the head boy at Eton, so it was an incredible social mix of people from public school. I came from Lewisham and Catford, so I hadn't even met people that lived the other side of the river.
Yeah.
So Michael had an extraordinary life in so much as Jewish people were still persecuted, and he had bricks thrown through the window, so that was extraordinary for me.
The 60s?
50s, yeah, late 50s, yes.
When did Camberwell, how long had it been open for, do you know?
Oh, Camberwell had been open some time, yes.
Okay.
It was, we were in the Victorian part, which is adjacent now to the South London Gallery.
Yes.
The new section hadn't been built at all, so it was really quite familiar to me, because it was like the Victorian school I'd gone to. So I had the Victorian school, but incredible, obviously modern outlook, and meeting people who were completely different from anybody I'd ever met before.
Sounds amazing.
And the tutors were extraordinary, the way they spoke. Couldn't believe how open they were, but how kind they were. Yes, really looked after, which were basically little school children to them, and a lot of them were practicing artists. And and you'd have felt that you thought, they would have thought, no, why are we wasting our time with these young people? But no, it was far from that, and it was very disciplined as well.
Right.
We did a programme, what's called intermediate. You had to pass that in order to go on to your national diploma. We did everything. We did sculpture. I loved that. We went to the sculpture department, was modern, with a foundry, where they did bronze casting, and that was really fascinating. Marvellous people like Sydney Hartley. Yes, that was fascinating, because we didn't do sculpture at school.
Right.
We did lettering with Sydney Bendel. What else? We did lettering, design, which I particularly liked. Then we did architectural drawing.
Oh, right.
And we went all over, and
So what was that diploma that you were working towards?
National Diploma in Design.
Diploma in Design.
NDD.
So it really covered a bit of everything. So I guess.
Oh yes, the intermediate, you had to pass that. That was fantastic. You did everything. Let's say architectural drawing.
Like the equivalent to a foundation diploma in art and design.
Oh yes, yes.
That...
Oh, completely the equivalent. In actual fact, more so, because we were very lucky. One-to-one teaching. They knew our names. They were aware of what our skills were.
That's good.
We had an excellent library, which was just art, obviously art books. There was afterwards there was a film club. So I remember seeing The Seventh Samurai. I'd never seen anything like it, but my only love of the cinema before that was obviously Laurel and Hardy, which had shown in the local park, but that was brilliant. Everything had to be done by hand. We went out and did architectural drawing and sat and looked at buildings. We went out, I remember sitting at Waterloo Station, because I think our tutors were probably influenced by the Walter Sickert and various people, the Impressionists, so stations seemed to be quite popular. So I remember people were teasing us as students. My friend Anne and I were sitting there, and then there was an old steam train, and they were shoveling the coal into, and they said they were going to put the coal over us, and we just laughed. So we got to know, we became part of London as well, so it introduced us to the big city and gave us confidence. That if someone had said to me, you'll sit in a big station and have the confidence to draw, I'd have thought, no, I don't even. When I was a young woman, I just knew where Lewisham was, that was about it really. So that was extraordinary. And then we went off to Kew Gardens, drawing in the hothouse. We did all sorts of things. We went to the V&A drawing. I still go to the V&A now. So we had a fantastically rich programme.